Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome you in for another edition of the Desert Gridiron Game Plan. James Poovey alongside my broadcast partners this evening, Mr. Jamal Gumo and Ed Cole. Gentlemen, another outstanding week of Arizona high school football is upon us. And of course, things get started this Thursday night. The entire thing starts this Thursday up in Anthem. As we make our first trip to the home of the Boulder Creek Jaguars, they will host the defending 5A state champion Centennial Coyotes on Thursday Night Football on 12+. Of course, we'll be on the air at 6:30 p.m. on the Epic Sports Network on YouTube, and the folks at 12+ will join us at 7 for kickoff. But Ed and Jamal, I'm excited for that one. Our first time to feature both these teams on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, JPJG, big 6A Desert Valley matchup between the Jaguars and the Coyotes. Both of those teams fighting with the Liberty Lions, of course. They're 7-1. So all three of these teams are in position to potentially win this region. So, Jamal, this is a huge game out there in Anthem. And again, as JP mentioned, we are so excited to feature two brand new teams on Thursday Night Football, a place we've never been to, Anthem. Well, I mean, we've been there so many times on the way to the Wranglers up in Prescott Valley,
yes,
but we've never actually been on site to do a broadcast. So this should be a fun one.
Yeah, fellas, listen, Boulder Creek is an absolute beautiful school. I've been there a few times in the past. They got a beautiful field, boys. They got a beautiful football field. Very much looking forward to being there. But more importantly, looking forward to watching the actual game between these two mammoths of football teams. And again, one of my favorite things, fellas, I've mentioned it multiple times, is the line of scrimmage. And I think that's where this game is going to be won and lost. And I think that's the most exciting part for me that I'm going to be looking forward to in this game. I think it's going to be physical. And again, another regional matchup. I'm looking forward to it.
Guys, when you think about what the Coyotes were able to do last season, finishing the regular season at 3-7, somehow making the playoffs, and then going on a run for the ages and finally hoisting that gold ball the first weekend of December in 2024. It was an amazing feat for Coach Richard Taylor in his swan song there for the Centennial Coyotes.
It was crazy. They went 3-7, as you mentioned, JP. Then they ran off 4 straight, ended the season 7-7 in 6A state champs. So what a magical season for them, for Coach Taylor to go out on top again with another championship as his son, Andrew Taylor, takes over. He was the defensive coordinator. We all looked it up before the broadcast. He was the defensive coordinator at Centennial for 24 years, since 2001, then joined as the assistant head coach since 2022. So now he gets to coach his alma mater. So I know that's got to be a thrill for him, Jamal and James, that he's at his alma mater. He is now the head man at Centennial, and he's got the Coyotes in really good position to again win the region and potentially the 6A again.
Yeah, success runs in the family. Whether it's Richard Taylor, whether it's Andrew Taylor, it runs in the family. And I can't imagine the mindset in that locker room changes too much after Andrew Taylor takes over. Listen, in terms of the season last year, boys, I mean, 3-7 and to go and win the championship, that is resiliency. That's the first word that comes to my mind. And to go and to face the schedule that they faced, we talked about it a little bit last year, to face the schedule that they faced, and then to go into the playoffs and not only just appear in the playoffs, but go on to win the 6A title. That is nothing but resiliency, and a huge ovation to that coaching staff and the leadership in that locker room in order to keep everybody's heads up after going 3-7 and then to make that run into the playoffs.
You know what it really does is it shows a lot of these teams and coaches and players that anything is possible. All you've got to do is just get yourself to the dance in that postseason spot, and anything is possible. You can run the table. You can go on a huge run just like they did last season and capture the entire thing. If your team has got the right mindset, of course, you got that injury bug that everybody battles every single season. That it's the ultimate equalizer, right? Especially when it comes close to playoff time. And speaking of playoff time, guys, we are right around the corner. The 3A to 5A brackets will be released this Saturday morning on the AZ Preps radio show, and we will be paying special attention to that, fellas, because we're going to broadcast our first playoff game next Friday night, November the 7th. We're looking at a 5A playoff game, and we will determine that game this Saturday once those brackets are released, and I'm super excited for the playoffs, which are just about 10 or so days away for us here on the Epic Sports Network.
And, you know, fellas, we say this every single week, how quick this season flies by. We're just a couple weeks away from the playoffs. We are in week 9 of the regular season. Of course, week 10 for us because we started at week 0. But it has been probably the fastest season that we've done on Thursday Night Fever and teaming up again with 12 Plus to do these great broadcasts every Thursday, as we're going to do on Thursday in Anthem. But my goodness gracious, I cannot wait for the playoffs. We are going to have so much fun trying to crown some new champions and see what happens. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, boys, the season has flown by. It feels like we just started the season 2 weeks ago. And the exciting thing about the playoffs is especially how talented Arizona high school football has become. There is no point in time in which you are surprised by anyone winning. Anybody can win at any point in time. That's just the talent that we have in Arizona high school football. And it's so fun covering. It's so fun watching these guys go out and play their absolute tails off. And for these playoffs are going to be exciting. There's going to be some upsets. There's going to be a lot of physicality. I cannot wait. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and it's just right around the corner. Let's take a look at some of the standings right now, especially in the 5A, as we take a peek at that right here. And when you look at this, starting in the 5A Central Valley, I'd love to sit here tonight and say, hey, you know what? I think I can prognosticate well enough to say, hey, this team's going to be playing this team. But as we know, all the results from this Thursday and Friday's action have to be tabulated first before the final seedings or rankings will come out, and then that will determine, of course, the playoff brackets, which will be released on Saturday. But, Ed, when you take a look at this 5A, it's anybody's ball game right now.
It really is. You know, of course, you see Sunny Slope and McClintock 4-0 both in the region. Barry Goldwater at 2-2. So, man, it looks like it's a kind of a two-team race there for the Chargers and the Vikings. Jamal, what do you see there? Of course, Dobson, Paradise Valley, Ironwood, they're having down years, not the seasons that they would have liked, but so we focus on the Vikings and the Chargers. Those guys are clearly at the head of the pack.
Yeah, those two are leading the way. My alma mater, Barry Goldwater, is hanging in there, 2-2 in the region, 5-4 overall this season. They're hanging in there. They're fighting.
Yeah.
It is gonna be tough to catch both McClintock and Sunny Slope with the season that they're having, especially within region play. But it's going to come down the stretch. It's very close, and that's what makes it exciting. It's these to play important games in late October going into early November is what you want as a high school program, and a lot of these teams are in that position.
Another log jam as we take a look at the 5A Desert West. Of course, Coach Henry MacArthur doing an outstanding job over there in his second full year at the helm for the Desert Edge Scorpions. Got those guys off to a 9-0 start. 4-0 in the region. I mean, what can you say about this team? They're so loaded from top to bottom. And then Canyon View and Millennium right there in second place, knocking on that door in the 5A Desert West.
And the crazy thing is, fellas, we've featured 4 teams of the 6 that we're seeing so far on TNF. DE, of course, Canyon View, Millennium, and Tolleson. Wow, just so much talent up and down this entire region, Jamal. As you look at it, as you mentioned, the Scorpions, they're just wow. They just reload. Coach Henry's got them rolling 9-0, but Canyon View, no slouch. Millennium, no slouch. Verado's hanging in there, so it's wow, this is pretty crazy. Tolleson at 6-3.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, back-to-back years, Desert Edge, which just looks unstoppable. And a lot of that credit goes to Coach MacArthur and what he's been able to do with that program. But again, this is another, like JP said, another logjam. And there's so much talent within this 5A Desert West. And Edge, you mentioned every team is competing for a spot in the playoffs, and all the way down to Tolleson, who's 6-3. It's really going to come down to that region play. Verado and Tolleson have struggled in region play, but their overall records look pretty good. And so, again, down the stretch is going to come down to how Canyon View and Millennium play these last few games.
And then you scroll down a little ways further and take a look at the 5A Metro. Some teams there, Camelback leading the charge right now at 4-5, but that is a struggling region there in the 5A, and a lot of those teams in semi-rebuilding mode, I would say, Ed, but bright spots for all those ball clubs there in that 5A Metro.
And isn't that an interesting record for Camelback? They're 4-0 in the region, but 0-5 outside of the region. So that lets you know how important region play is, Jamal, if you can potentially go undefeated, as you see Betty Fairfax and North and Trevor Brown and Central, they're all at a log jam at 2-2. None of those records are really good. In South Mountain, 0-9. It's been a struggle, as you mentioned, JP, at this 5A Metro. It's been a really tough season, but they're all charging, and they're going to see what they can do to finish the season strong.
Yeah, of course, fellas, we know every game matters, but region games matters just a little bit more, especially when it comes to postseason play. And Camelback is just taking advantage. They've won all their region games now. They've struggled outside of the region, but in terms of just making the playoffs and making that run for the postseason, they've done a very good job at it.
And then you get down to the 5A Northeast Valley Conference. Coach Prelock has the Notre Dame Prep Saints sitting at 4-5 right now, and they have the head-to-head tiebreaker over Horizon and Desert Mountain, who check in with a 7-2 record. So, this is just craziness right here as everything starts to shake out here in the final week of the regular season, and we look toward those playoff brackets being released this Saturday. And right now, I don't know how you would even start to break this thing down and figure out who's going to play who this next week.
Yeah, I have no idea. That Notre Dame Prep is 2-1. They're 4-5, but they're still at the top overall. And they do have that shows how important those tiebreakers are, Jamal. That you're 1-0, you've beaten Horizon and Desert Mountain, but your record is 4-5. You're under 500, but still you go out here and you beat your guys within the 5A Northeast Valley. Take care of that region play, as you mentioned, Jamal, and then let the chips fall where they may, wherever you may be seated in the playoffs. But still, you handled your business inside the region. But still, you've got a 2-1 logjam, but the tiebreaker can make the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think my favorite thing about this region in terms of the 5A Northeast Valley is there's no bad games. All of them are going to be competitive. This is a competitive region. I mean, for example, Notre Dame and Horizon, you see Horizon is 7-2 on the year. One of those losses is to Notre Dame Prep, in which they lost 42-41 in triple overtime in a region game. That's how competitive and physical and just absolutely nasty these region games are, and most importantly, how imperative these games are. So it's fun to watch.
The 5A Northwest has Cactus checking in under Coach Bellis with a 7-2 mark, but Yuma Catholic 4-0 undefeated in region play with an overall 5-4 mark. And there again, it's anybody's ball game. Sunrise Mountain also coming on there as well under Coach Santiago Maldonado. Looking forward to hopefully having them on Thursday Night Football next season. We've been working with Coach Maldonado for a couple of years now, and I would love to have the Sunrise Mountain Mustangs for a road game. Obviously, they have their own student broadcasting network there at Sunrise Mountain, so we obviously respect that to the highest extent. But I'd love to get the Mustangs on a road game and a competitive region there as well in the 5A Northwest.
Oh, yeah. Yuma Catholic 4-0, Cactus and Sunrise Mountain 3-1, 7-2, 5-4. Wow. Then you look at Apollo, West Point, and Willow Canyon, both all having down years, but it is about those top three football teams in the 5A Northwest that you see region play, again, coming up so important.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you see Cactus is 3-1 and 7-2 overall. The only loss in region play is to Yuma Catholic, who was 4-1 in region, or 4-0, in region play. You see how important these region games are. And again, they're only going to get more important down the stretch.
And it seems like there's about 87 teams right now in the 5A as we continue through the the standings here. We look at the 5A Santan, ALA Gilbert North, and AZ College Prep coming in with an 8-1 overall mark. And then after that, anybody's ball game, 6-3, Mountain Point, doing a pretty good job this season, really under first-year head coach over there, John Roberts, who took over after he assumed the job coming over from Vista Grande down there in Casa Grande. You might remember we had them on Thursday Night Football last season down there in Casa Grande. Exciting stuff there in the 5A Santan. And this 5A is just wide open. We look at the 5A Sonoran, and of course there are those Marana Tigers once again, 8-1, undefeated in region play this season. And of course, this is a Southern Arizona region on the 5A, and the Buena Colts have the state's leading tackler down there as well in Cooper Kraus.
Wow. JP and Jamal, we got to get to Marana or Buena next season. We got to get one of those two teams.
Yeah.
Yes, we are going down south once again. Of course, we went to Cienega a couple of years ago. 2 years we went down there to Southern Arizona. And so we're looking to make that trip again next season. So Buena Colts would be one. I would love to go take in a game there down in Southern Arizona. So we'll see if we can't work that thing out for Thursday Night Football next season. That would be exciting down there. I love that Southern Arizona brand of football. And then the final 5A division is the 5A Southern, and then Desert View 9-0 on the season. They are running the table so far, are the Jaguars.
Wow. Just perfect football down at Desert View. They're looking to get that 5A Southern all wrapped up and then head into the playoffs and potentially win the 5A overall. But yeah, they are looking sparkling clean, Jamal, with a unblemished record at 9-0.
Yeah, it seems like if you have desert in your name, you're just gonna go undefeated. Desert View, Desert Edge,
Yeah.
just undefeated, just
Yep.
be amazing. No, but I obviously you look at Desert View and they've been amazing all year. They've won all their region games, they've won all their conference games, they've won all of their games, period. And if they just carry this momentum going into the playoffs, they are going to be terrifying to face in these 5A playoffs.
They really will. So that is the synopsis right there of the 5A standings right now as we get ready for that bracket release show coming up this Saturday morning. I believe that starts at 8 a.m., I want to say, on the new home, I believe, for the Saturday morning show. I believe the Saturday morning show is still on 1580 there for AZ Preps 365. So I will verify that as well. But we'll take a quick commercial time out here on the Desert Gridiron Gameplan. And when we return, we hope to catch up with the Boulder Creek Jaguars. They will make their first appearance on Thursday Night Football this Thursday as they host those Centennial Coyotes. Stay with us. More of the Desert Gridiron Game Plan coming up after the break. Get ready to feel the burn in Phoenix's newest hotspot. Hot Chicken Alley brings the sizzling Nashville-style hot chicken straight to your plate. Our finger-licking sandwiches will set your taste buds on fire. Come join us for a taste of Nashville right here in Phoenix at the corner of Tatum and Thunderbird. Brace yourself for a flavor explosion that'll keep you coming back for more. Hot Chicken Alley, a proud supporter of Thursday Night Football, right here on the Epic Sports Network.
On game day, communication is everything. Procom offers the most powerful, most reliable headsets on the market. Paired with our state-of-the-art coach-to-player communication tools, your team is sure to dominate. It's time to communicate like a pro. Visit us at procomheadsets.com.
It starts with a dream and a desire to be the best. You got the talent, you got the drive, and the work ethic. But to get recruited, it takes more than that. You need a playbook. That's where Recruit ID comes in. Our digital tools connect you with college programs that are fast, easy, and effective. Your dream is closer than you think. Let's get you seen. Visit recruitid.net and take your recruitment to the next level.
Discover more Play for All at Harrah's Auction Casino.
Hi folks, here are your drinks.
Where having fun means racking up reward credits with the Caesars Rewards loyalty program that can be redeemed for food, free play, hotel stays, and more. Not only here in the city of Maricopa, but also at more than 50 Caesars properties coast to coast. From Harrah's Las Vegas to Caesars Palace in Atlantic City. What are you waiting for? Play for All at Harrah's Auction Casino, the official sponsor of Play.
All Insurance has been serving Arizona drivers for over 30 years, so we have the experience to take great care of you. We can help you over the phone or face-to-face from one of our 30 convenient valley-wide locations. We represent all of the top carriers, so we do the shopping for you. Find out why we're the most referred agency in Arizona. All Insurance, insurance for all.
We welcome you back to the Desert Gridiron Game Plan. James Spoovy alongside my broadcast host, Mr. Ed Cole and Jamal Gumo. Gentlemen, we await the arrival of head coach from the Boulder Creek Jaguars. Hopefully be joining us here in just a little bit, Coach Josh Barr. But until then, let's take a look at the another piece of the bracket that'll be released on Saturday morning. And that, of course, is the 4A region. And you take a look at the 4A Black Canyon. Marco Siniza off to a rousing start this year, 8-1 overall, 4-0 in the region. And I talked to you guys off air a little bit ago. We're looking to get that Marco Siniza at Tempe game on Thursday Night Football next season. As you see the Tempe Buffaloes not having a bad season either. They're at 6-3, and then Greenway just slipping right in there with a little bit of tiebreaker, getting second place right now in the region with a 3-6 mark.
Yeah, fellas, that'd be a great game, wouldn't it? Padres and the Buffaloes at Tempe. Man, look at those records right now, 8-1, 6-3. So you would imagine come next fall, those teams will probably be in the same position record-wise because they've got two quality programs at Marcos Deniza and Tempe. So should that work out, that would be a great game on Thursday Night Fever and on 12 plus JP and Jamal. And as you mentioned, Greenway right in the middle at 3-1, 3-6. These records are crazy that you could be 3-6 or at Boulder Creek, you're 3-5, yet you're 2-0 in the 6A Desert Valley, and you can still win the division and have a less than 500 record like Centennial last year, and then make a run to the championship. Who would figure?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, fellas. I love myself a regional game. I love a
Yes.
regional game. Those are always the nastiest. And I again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but those are my favorite. Those 10 to 17, 10 to 13 games are just nasty. And I feel like this could be one of those games. Now, both of these teams do have some pretty talented, high-powered offenses, but for them to know what's on the line, especially going into next season and how good they've turned out this season so far, I cannot wait if we were able to get that game.
Yeah, Coach Freeman said he's in on that one, so we'll just follow up with the Padres and see if we can get that thing worked out for next season. Continuing in the 4A division, our friends, the Carter brothers over there at Maryville, got that team rolling. They are tied for first place right now in the 4A Copper Sky with Copper Canyon. The Aztecs also posting a 5-4 mark on the season in the North Canyon, and Washington, the Rams, right in the mix as well. They're in the 4A Copper Sky.
Yeah, how fun was that last week at Maryville, fellas? We saw Masan Alekpovi, his brother Julian, the Burrito Express player of the game. He got a couple of touchdown passes. Tariq Hanna, that kid, number 50, was a monster on defense. That kid was all over the field, Jamal. You shot him from up in the like right above us. So you saw all the action. That kid was all over the quarterback for Carl Hayden. It made him hard for him to do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just seeing him, being able to see him he's all over the place. He's one of those players that jumps off your screen. I remember that he's the guy that absolutely can make it plays. And for Maryville to be 4-0 in the region, and again, atop of the 4A Copper Sky division, it's the turnaround that the Carter brothers have had in that program has actually absolutely been amazing. Those are two amazing coaches. And again, this isn't their first rodeo. They've done it before. And so for them to do it again with Maryville, it's fantastic to watch.
And they are just getting started is the thing over there at Maryville. In the 4A Desert Sky, you got two 9-0 teams. And these teams are actually facing off this week as well as the Arcadia Titans head up to northeastern Arizona to take on the Snowflake Lobos. Of course, Case Solomon has stepped down from the head coaching position there at Snowflake, but they just keep that train rolling. Those kids up there are country strong, and they know how to play football, Ed.
And how big is that game, Jamal? Arcadia and Snowflake for the 4A Desert Sky. Clearly, they're both 4-0, so whoever wins that game will be 10-0, and they will wrap up the 4A Desert Sky. So, man, that is going to be a titanic matchup between the Titans and the Lobos.
It's going to be fantastic. And I mean, those two teams, 9-0, obviously – the winner of this game is almost jolted to winning the region. But I mean, these two teams are so talented. One of the guys I'm looking for is Jacob Leduc. He's the quarterback for the Snowflake Lobos.
Yes,
he's been making plays all season, fellas. And again, the key to this game is because the Arcadia Titans can turn the ball over. The key to get this game for Leduc is to not turn the ball over. And so it's going to be really, really fun to see these two undefeated high-powered teams go at it this week.
And a shout out to all the outstanding coverage that's provided up there in northeastern Arizona for the Snowflake Lobos, the Sholo Cougars, who we're going to talk to here in just a little bit as well, and the folks up there in the northeastern part of the state, the Simmons Sports Group, along with iTalk. They do a great job covering those teams and really providing some outstanding broadcasts up there in the northeastern part of the state, and really keeping us updated and really tuned in literally to what's going on with some outstanding 4A football up there in the northeastern part of the state. The 4A Desert Southwest features the Gila Ridge Hawks from Yuma under the direction of Coach Jessica Slaughter. She's got those guys playing at 8-1 this season so far, and the Cibola Raiders right there behind, checking in at 6-2. That's an outstanding region out there as well in the Yuma area.
It is. Yes. JP, I see Coach Boyce popped in. You want to bring him in?
Coach Boyce is in here with us. Let's go ahead and not waste any time. Let's get right to talking about some Sholo Cougars football. Coach Boyce joining us here on the show. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time. We certainly appreciate it. I know you're jumping in here just a couple minutes early, but that's okay. And just tell us about the season so far up there in northeastern Arizona and the mood of Sholo Cougar football.
Yeah, it's starting to get cold up here. I can tell you that. Yeah, no, it's been a fun year so far. Last year we finished the season at 3-7, just barely missed the playoffs. It was my first year taking over the program. We had a lot of young guys that got first year varsity reps last year, but all of them now a pretty heavy senior class that really just bought into kind of the program, the way way I saw things kind of headed. And literally we just got 1,000 leaders on this team, some tough kids, some mountain kids. And we got 2 of them here that you'll talk to. We got our running back Jet Walker and our quarterback Cash Perkins, and they're just, I mean, every kid on the team. There's probably, when you told me to pick a player or two, I couldn't. It was hard, but these 2 guys here are just 2 of the studs. If you watch any of our games, but yeah, it's been fun, man. We're 7-2 right now, and those 2 losses were close ones. We really don't feel like we've been beaten down yet. So the Payson game, it's going to be a good one Friday night.
Coach, your defense is playing just lights out football, 5 shutouts, only giving up 6.3 points per game. What is going on with your defense? Why are they this good? And why are they just being so bullish against opposing offenses?
Yeah. First off, I'll go hats off to our defensive coordinator, Gavin Clark. It was, his first year with me last year too. And he had a vision with, for the defense last year. And I think it was just going through those growing pains last year. We were so close last year. It was 1 or 2 guys just out of alignment last year, and really getting the kids to kind of buy in and see it. And they kind of saw it through sevens this year, the off season and stuff. So, and then just, you start seeing a little bit of success one game, you get 1 shutout, and these boys get hungry for more. So yeah, hats off to my DC and then the players for just buying into what he's coaching.
Coach, 7-2 this season, 3-1 in region play. I'm just going to go vague here. What has been the key to success this season?
I think honestly, it's just our senior leadership. Like I said, these guys right here, it's not just on the field that, the stats you guys see and stuff. I mean, these guys are over at the elementary school reading to kids on Thursday mornings. And, that's been a big part of this community lately. They're doing community service in our hallways. They're known as kind of the leaders of the school and not the old, jock way. They're just, they're picking up trash. They're holding doors for people. Just on and off the field, these guys are literally just doing everything right. And I think that's, it's a huge part of the success.
Coach, you brought along your quarterback, Cash Perkins, and a running back who also plays a little strong safety in Jet Walker. First, tell us about Cash Perkins and what he means to the Cougars offense.
Yeah, this kid's an animal. It's crazy. He's a senior right now. Took a year off of football. He didn't play his freshman year, even though I was trying hard to get him out. He rodeos, and he's a tough cowboy kid. You can't knock him down or out, man. This kid's going to give you everything he's got every play, and that's something I love about him and his leadership. You can't match it.
So Cash, you've got 13 touchdown passes. You got 5 touchdown runs, almost about 1,500 or so all-purpose yards. So the ability for you to throw the football accurately, make things happen with your arm as well as your legs. Just speak about the importance of being a dual threat quarterback and how that makes your offense that much better.
Yes, sir. I just like to try to think I can do anything, be like the point guard for the offense. Get it to my guys in space if I need to. Then if a play breaks down or something, just go use my legs, try to make a play, be an athlete. I just like to, try to be the guy to get the ball to the guys, run the play, and if it needs to, just go make a play.
Cash, we heard Coach talk about your leadership on the team. Now, I'd imagine the answer to this question is yes, but do you consider yourself to be a leader on this team, and how important is your leadership to the success of this football team?
Yes, sir. I think it's very important, and a lot of the guys, as being quarterback, things go wrong or when things go right, all eyes are always on you. So you got to always be picking people up and being a leader, just leading with your actions and words, picking them up if something goes wrong. Just making sure you're steering the ship and keeping guys up.
Jet Walker joining us here as well tonight from the Sholo Cougars. He plays running back and strong safety for Sholo. Jet, tell us how much pride you take in being not only a two-way player for the Cougars, but being a difference maker, because a lot of this small town football, if you will, you guys have a lot of two-way studs on this team. So how much pride do you take in being able to play both ways and play both ways successfully?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm fortunate enough to be able to play both sides of the ball. Like you said, running back, I know, safety on defense, and I love every second of it. Some people ask me like, man, don't you get tired? And as much as I do get tired, it makes up being able to be on the field every play to try and make a difference. And like you said, that small town ball, we don't have as much athletes up here, we don't have a ton of guys, right? And so luckily I'm fortunate enough to be one of them that gets to play both sides, and I love every minute of it. It's fun. It's a journey. It's hard and it's tiring at some point, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. So
So, Jet, on your offense, you've got 5 rushers, including yourself, that's got over 100 rushing yards. Speak to the importance of your running game. You're averaging about 210 rushing yards a game. You got 27 touchdowns. So the strength of your offense is clearly the running game, and the importance of it establishing a running game and making your offense go with the running game. It just opens up so many avenues for you offensively if you can run the rock.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just a testament to our line. They've balled out this season. You know, we had a lot of changes with a few guys graduating last year and bringing in some newer kids and having a transfer come over, stuff like that. But everyone's adjusted really well, and I'm super proud of the way we've dealt with it. And, they've turned out to be a group of studs, and they've held it down for me all season. And, I luckily I get to come do these interviews and take the pictures and all that stuff that comes with it. But, at the end of the day, it should be those guys because they're the reason I'm able to get it done and have those stats like that. But, yeah, in our offense, I'm super proud of how we've been able to implement the run. And I think that's opened a lot of stuff in our pass game as well. And Cash has done a great job being able to make those reads, when to give the ball, when to keep the ball. And that opens up when we're able to throw the ball. So, yeah.
JP mentioned your two-way ability. Now, you could go on either side of the football here, but where do you feel you are the best? What are your strengths of your game? What do you think you do the best?
That's tough. That's tough. I really feel like I could say either side of the ball, but if I had to choose, I'm gonna have to go running the ball. I know that's one of my favorite things to do. That's always kind of what I've been known for, is running the rock. And as much as I love defense, hopefully my DC doesn't get mad at me for choosing O over D. But definitely running the ball. I love getting the ball in the backfield, letting the play develop, reading butts, and trying to break away. But definitely offense for sure. So,
Coach, you got a lot of tough players up there for the Show Low Cougars. There's a lot of tough kids up in that region. Where does that toughness come from?
Yeah, I just think it's the way these kids are raised, man. I mean, you look at our region altogether. You can talk about Payson, Blue Ridge, Round Valley, and all these kids, man. Some of them are rodeo kids, or they're doing farm work or working with their parents, out, whatever it may be, throwing block. A lot of these guys are contractors' kids and things like that. So, I mean, they're raised right, man. They're working, and when you get them and you get to coach them in football, and you don't have to teach that aspect of it, it's nice.
Cash, we asked Coach about your defense and how extremely well they're playing with the 5 shutouts, giving up under 10 points a game. How does that make your job better, knowing your defense can go out there and be so dominant every single week? And that just opens up things for you, knowing that if you do make a mistake and your offense doesn't score, or you do a 3-and-out, you punt the ball away, or something doesn't go right offensively, you could potentially get the ball back like within a couple more plays because your defense is so dominant.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome, man. It's a real blessing to have for sure. Last year, our DC, Gavin Clark, he flipped it around so much, like total opposite off defensive last year. But it's really nice because, like you said, could go make a mistake, throw a pick or something, then get a 3-and-out and give us another shot. It's always really awesome to lean against, but like to step up and make our offense dominant just like that. So it could be all around, but it's really awesome and sweet to have for sure.
Coach, when I look at your football team, one of the first words that comes to my mind is gritty. When I think of gritty, I think it just outworks everybody. You're going to work harder than the other team. How important is that to you in your locker room to make sure that you are working? This is, practice, game, whatever time it may be. But how important it is to you that you make sure your team is working harder than everybody else?
Yeah, I mean, grit's a word that's used quite a bit around here for sure. And it's something else we talk about, right? We want to embrace being one of the hardest working team. We want to embrace the hard moments and make sure we are putting in the extra work. These boys, they went to, we call it mountain camp. A lot of people, a lot of teams go and do their summer camps or whatever. Well, we go out to the woods for a couple days with no cell phones and build your own shelter and kind of learn how to survive out there and take some nice little morning hikes. But yeah, I mean, these boys just started with the off season. They're tough and grit's something that we lean on heavily, and then just embracing being one of the hardest working teams in the state.
Coach, you guys live and play and practice and work hard up there at 6,300 feet above sea level. How do you think that plays into your conditioning overall, especially when it comes playoff time and you're able to sometimes come down here to the Valley of the Sun and battle some of the teams here in the Phoenix area that might not have some of that conditioning at high altitude?
Yeah, no, it's huge. When we go down there, our boys always feel pretty good, and as long as it's not hot. We complain about that a little bit sometimes, but when the weather's nice down there, our boys feel good. But yeah, coming up here, when teams got to come up here, it's always an advantage for us for sure when they're not local. And, that's why this game Friday night's so important. We feel like we can kind of lock in a home playoff game Friday night. But yeah, getting off the mountain, definitely you notice a difference. Our boys usually feel pretty good late into the fourth quarter.
Jet, I'm going to throw out a stat that JP loves: pancake blocks. You've got 7 of them this year, and I know that just delights James Poovey to no end. So,
it does.
How does that make your job easier at the running back spot, knowing that your brothers can lay those pancake blocks for you, and then that lets you get almost 600 yards rushing this season, and that allows you to get closer? You've got 13 touchdowns. Those blocks allow you to get those yards and those touchdowns, knowing those guys are just laying out for you.
Yeah, that's a big deal, and that's a big part of our offense. We rely on each other. We rely on the unity of each other, which translates to blocking for each other on the field, right? And I think that we've done a good job of being able to block for each other, like those stats show. And we depend on it. We depend on blocking for each other, putting pancakes down for each other, and that turns into yards, into first downs, and at the end of the day, hopefully touchdowns. So it is nice to go out there, trust your boys, and that they're going to get the job done for you just the same you would for them, no matter who carries the ball, no matter who we're throwing it to, just kind of being selfless. And, that's a big part of our team right there. So,
Cash, Ed, and actually Jet mentioned the offensive line earlier, and obviously being the quarterback, you rely on the offensive line, if not the most on the team. What's your relationship with your guys, and do you guys have a relationship off the field?
Oh, yeah, that's awesome, man. They kind of got their own, those guys are real tight, It's kind of hard to earn your way into that because those boys are tight. Every Thursday they go and eat wings and stuff together. It's really cool seeing that. But, yeah, I'll die for them. They'll die for me. And it really shows on the field, having each other's back. They just do so much work behind the scenes as every lineman gets and don't get enough love. But I think they love me and I love them so much. And, yeah, we're really close, and I just really appreciate it off the field.
I got a question for both Cash and Jet here. We can always look up your stats on Max Preps or azpreps365.com, but each of you tell me what you're into off the football field. When it's the off season, you're able to kind of put the helmet, the shoulder pads down for a little bit. What do you enjoy doing?
You got it.
All right. Well, yeah, first off, like he mentioned, a lot of rodeo stuff. My whole family's big into that. So we have an arena here at Sholo. So every weekend there's either rope-ins, rodeo, something going on each weekend. So I've just grown up around that. I like roping and doing things like that. Then I like going in the woods and stuff, hanging out outside. I like hunting. We do that a lot as well. Just anything outside and just get out there and just go explore the nature.
Yeah, kind of. It's weird being from a small town. There's a lot of opportunity to play other sports, right? So after football is over for me, it's on to the next and basketball, and from there, probably into baseball and track the next season. So I'm kind of doing sports year round, but when it's not sports, probably first thing coming up right after football season, snowboarding. Snowboarding is going to get going. That's huge. We're fortunate to have sunrise, 45 minutes away from us, which is so nice. I try and get up there as much as possible. And you know what? I'm also pretty hardcore pickleballer as well, So yeah, pickleball it's big up here, and it's starting to spread a little bit. But yeah, kind of the same thing. Just like to be outdoors, doing something with my body, doing some exercise, something like that. So
I couldn't imagine having to play pickleball in a big jacket, Jamal. But go ahead.
Hey, so Cash and Jet, this is both for you. How great would it be to beat Payson on Friday night in their building, make a run throughout the entire 3A, and win the state championship? Cash, go ahead and start, and then Jet, you jump in after him.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man. That'd be a blessing. always as a little kid, that's everyone's dream. That's your dream growing up, is to go get that gold ball. And that's what every team in the 3A is preaching. That's what we've been preaching. Our coaches have a really good setup at mountain camp, like he mentioned. We have a couple sprints up the hills that are a little bit tiring, but at the end, they make us earn it, the 14th sprint for all 14 games. We go get that gold ball. So it'd mean the world to me, all my teammates and everybody. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I completely agree. My freshman year, I was able to be a part of that Cougar team who went to the semifinals, and that was such a fun ride. That was a good journey, and even though we came up short, it's something that ever since it happened, I just want to get back to. And that'd be awesome, especially against Payson. They're another team here on the mountain. They're legit, just like every other team in the region. Everyone's super tough this year. And just trying to take it one game at a time. This first one is the way to take it, and we know they're gonna bring their A game. They're here to play as well, and just to start it off would be huge against them. And, just like Cash said, like growing up, and coming through high school, that's always the dream, right? It's holding up that gold ball at the end of the year, and being seniors, like it's like everyone preaches, it's do or die. It's the last ride. So hopefully. We take it one game at a time. We started off this week, and hopefully we just stack them up, and we'll see where it takes us.
All right, boys. I got one quick fun one, and then I got a football question. So, Jay, baseball is my first love, and I heard you mention baseball in the spring. What position you play in baseball?
I catch. I play catcher.
Oh, he's a pitcher.
Yeah, I forgot to say I play as well.
Attaboy. All right, and then the football one. In terms of Payson, and both of you guys can answer this. Jet defensively and Cash obviously offensively. What are you guys seeing from Payson on the opposite side of the ball?
I can take Payson's super tough. It's a team we see every year. It's a team I've seen every year being in Pee Wee football, so I know a lot of their guys, and they're tough just like we are. They got a few guys that can run the ball hard, and their quarterback Nolan, he's a stud. They've developed him to be super good quarterback, and they got a super good receiver in number 4 Marco, and they've done a good job this season of being able to put them in the right spots to make big plays, and that's what we've seen on film, and just containing them as hard as it's going to be. That's what we're going to try defensively to do best, is limit them the most we could, and as long as we do that and don't let them drive on us too crazy, then hopefully our offense can get on the field and do their job. So,
Coach, final question for. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, and just looking towards the defensive side, they got some big dudes for sure. Joel hasn't always been the biggest guys, so they got some big dudes. Athletic, fast. Their linebacker Johnny too. He's a stud. He flies around, so we're gonna have to look out for that. Just execute our stuff and just go make it happen.
Coach, final question for you guys as we close you out here. Tell folks what they could expect on their first trip up the Sholo on a Friday night football game or possibly even Thursday night. What could people expect?
Yeah, we've kind of turned it into the place to be again. I mean, I grew up here and I graduated from here in 2006. I was part of the 2003 state championship team here. And back then, man, the town shut down Friday nights. Everyone was here, right? The kids were all running around the sideline and the stands were full, and we're back to that. I mean, we've got fireworks. It's a show and it's a place to be, man. Everyone's here, the families, everyone's tailgating. And then these boys are out working hard and putting on a show. I mean, even in our losses, it's been games that have been fun to watch, So you come up here, you're going to see a bunch of boys, like you said, they're gritty. They're not going to disappoint. So you get out, it's the place to be Friday night up in the mountains for sure.
Head coach Michael Boyce and a couple of his outstanding athletes joining us here tonight from the Sholo Cougars, and Cash Perkins and Jet Walker on the show. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. It was really a pleasure getting to know you tonight, and we look forward to your game on Friday night against those Payson Longhorns. Thank you for your time tonight, and we'll talk to you again very soon.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Fellas.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Stay with us. More of the Desert Gridiron Game Plan coming up after the break. We visit with the Payson Longhorns. Get ready to feel the burn in Phoenix's newest hotspot. Hot Chicken Alley brings the sizzling Nashville-style hot chicken straight to your plate. Our finger-licking sandwiches will set your taste buds on fire. Come join us for a taste of Nashville right here in Phoenix at the corner of Tatum and Thunderbird. Brace yourself for a flavor explosion that'll keep you coming back for more. Hot Chicken Alley, a proud supporter of Thursday Night Football, right here on the Epic Sports Network.
All Insurance has been serving Arizona drivers for over 30 years, so we have the experience to take great care of you. We can help you over the phone or face-to-face from one of our 30 convenient valley-wide locations. We represent all of the top carriers, so we do the shopping for you. Find out why we're the most referred agency in Arizona. All Insurance, insurance for all.
We welcome you back here on the Desert Gridiron Game Plan. James Spooby alongside my broadcast partners, Mr. Ed Cole and Jamal Gumo. Next up, gentlemen, our first visit with the Payson Longhorns. Let's get them in here. Head coach Brian Burke joining us tonight with a bevy of Longhorns, a stable of Longhorns, if you will, behind them. Coach, just give us a breakdown so far on the season. You guys are coming into the contest this week hosting the Sholo Cougars, posting a 6-3 mark. Just tell us how things are going up there in Rim Country.
Yes, sir. Hey, thank you for having us, number one. But we week 10, we get to host Sholo up here for our senior night, and we had a really successful season so far. First time in a long time that we really made a push to really strengthen our schedule. And last half of the season, man, we've had in our 10 games, we have 6 playoff teams in our schedule. So last couple. We lost one last week to River Valley, to a really tough River Valley team. Looking to bounce back this week with Sholo.
Yeah, Coach, I was going to ask you, you started off 5-0, and then you lost 3 of your last 4. Granted, you played Round Valley. You beat Blue Ridge. You lost to Thatcher and River Valley. All 4 of those teams are outstanding football teams. So what do you take away from those from the adversity that you and your team have had over the last month as compared to such a great start, and then things kind of went sideways, again, depending on the level of competition that you faced over the last month?
Absolutely. And, we took a big picture approach, and that's it. The last couple games, we were a play away from both those games. And, if we're not seeing those quality top competitions during the season, then we won't see a Thatcher or River Valley or Sholo or any of these Round Valley, any of these really top caliber playoff teams. We don't see them till the playoffs. So we're taking a lot from it. We're learning from it, learning how to get those 1 or 2 plays going our way, so that we can make a stretch there in the playoffs. And that's, like I said, big picture wise, we're using these as learning opportunities so we can go make a run where it counts.
Coach, when you look at the season from 10,000 feet, how would you assess the season so far? How are you feeling after 9 games?
After 9 games, we are battle tested. We have a lot of guys that have had great success so far. We have ourselves in position to not only make the playoffs, but possibly even host a playoff game. And we're healthy. So that in 3A football, that's huge going into week 10, being pretty healthy. So all in all, obviously 1 or 2 of those plays I'd like to go our way, but in big picture wise, from the 10,000 foot view, I think we put ourselves in position to really make a run and accomplish all the goals we have set in place.
JP, you muted yourself.
Coach, you brought along a couple studs with you here tonight, including quarterback Nolan Keeney. Tell us what he means to your offense and how he has really affected the program this season.
Nolan, he's an incredible football player, he steps up and makes big plays when they count. Last week, River Valley, we had a couple personal fouls, led us to basically a 3rd and 51, 3rd and goal on the 51-yard line, and 2 plays. He scrambles for 30 yards, makes them up, and then he goes and throws a touchdown on 4th down. And those are the type of things that, doesn't matter what play call any of us coaches come up with. That's just something that he has the ability to do an extended play. And really, it's been a pleasure coaching really all 3 of these guys over the last couple of years.
And Coach, talk about the other 2 gentlemen that you have with you and what they bring to your football team.
So I got Johnny McInerney. He's a running back and linebacker. Starting middle linebacker for us the last 3 years. He's the heart and soul of our defense. He's our speaking captain on the defensive side. And I got Marco Grecki back here. Marco, for a good portion of the season, was leading the nation in return yards. He's got 15 touchdowns on the season total overall, and he's a pretty dynamic, explosive player too. So I know you guys said bring a player. These three are kind of the heart and soul of this group. So,
Nolan, I got a question for you. So, personally, I hold to such a high standard protecting the football. How important is it to you, to not only you, but you and your football team, to protect the football? I mean, I'm looking at the 17 touchdowns to only 5 interceptions after throwing for over 1,000 yards. How important is it to protect the football?
I mean, I think trying to protect the football, get as many offensive drives and trying to get as many scores as we can, trying to keep the score up on our opponents, not really letting them have a chance to keep in reach of us.
Coach, what do you think will be the key point on Friday night as you guys host those Sholo Cougars and will no doubt be a playoff type atmosphere there at Payson High School? What do you think is going to be the tipping point on Friday?
I think you got two really physical, aggressive style of defenses. So defensively, it's going to be two teams really just going after it. Physical football. You got two teams that really protect the ball pretty well. Turnover is going to make a difference, definitely. And then ultimately, who's going to execute down the stretch? Who's going to execute in the fourth quarter? This is definitely, we played Sholo. They're in our region. It's a rivalry game. It's always coming down. We always play in week 10. It always comes down to somebody's senior night. And usually there's always playoff implications on the line. And every year it comes down to one maybe 2-score game at the best, at least. But it comes down to playing great defense, not giving up big plays, and winning the turnover battle is usually the indicator who wins this game.
Johnny, Coach talked about defense, obviously, in his last comments, but your defense is playing so well. You're leading the team with tackles, 63, a ton of TFLs. You guys get after the quarterback. You've got 24 sacks. You get a ton of quarterback hurries. How fun is it to play in this defense? And for you, describe your playing style at that linebacker spot. What do you do to make quarterbacks uncomfortable, running backs, whoever's got the football? You are pretty much Johnny on the spot. Go with your first name, of course, Johnny on the spot. You know how to get to the football and make plays happen, make things happen.
Yes, sir. Thank you. But I think a big part of it is just being able to, especially for me, I've been trying to work on this lately, is just trusting those people around me, trusting my D-line that they're going to push the quarterback or the running backs up to me and stuff, and then just trusting the safeties and corners behind me and making sure that nothing's going to get past me and stuff. But a big way I play is I like to fly to the ball, I like to be aggressive, but a big part of my game is just reading my keys and just knowing what I got to do. I spend a lot of time on film just to try to figure out what teams are going to do and how I'm going to react and stuff. And before plays, I tend to try to visualize everything that can happen. I know that's impossible, but try to get a big picture in my mind of what I'm going to do and what I need to do. And then I just try to play not selfish either. Try to work with my other linebackers like Gunner, Trey, Lucas, all them. Trying to work guys to them too.
And Johnny, the thing is, Cash talked about you when we were talking to the Sholo. We talked to him. He singled you out. He said, "Yeah, Johnny, he's that dude." So he already knows that you got the skills, and you're going to be coming after him. So yes, QB1 he's already ready. He's already okay, I got to get ready for Johnny because I know he's going to come after me all night on Friday.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I got a lot of respect for him and Jet, especially because he's not just a great thrower as well. I've been seeing him film, but he can also run the ball really well. So our whole defense just got to play sound to go against him. But it's good to know that people are seeing what I'm doing. I'm just making an impact, but I can't do it without the rest of my team as well. So
wide receiver Marco Gorecki joining us here as well from the Payson Longhorns. Marco, hopefully I said the last name right. I see you're a Browns fan there as well. That's pretty cool. Tell us about this coaching staff, not only Coach Burke, but the assistant coaches. How have they worked with you guys, and really how have they earned your trust to know that, hey, when they tell you something, it's in your best interest, and they're speaking from experience and really trying to bring the best out of you?
Well, I've always trusted my coaches since day one. Anything they tell me, I will listen. Another coach, Watson, he's helped me throughout my journey to make the right cuts on routes, make the right releases, watching the ball all the way through, just the little things, the little details that really helped along the long road.
Sorry, Johnny, I got one for you, brother. Listen, 63 tackles, leading the team in tackles. I can't imagine there are too many linebackers sideline to sideline that are faster than yourself. I think the thing that sticks out to me is 15 and a half TFLs. With a high-powered offense like Sholo, how important is it to get them behind the sticks and keep them behind the sticks?
It's very important because I feel, especially with our team and a lot of other teams, like it's very schedule oriented on offense. So like if you just get somebody on a second and a 10 or second and 11, even it's gonna set them back a lot. And then because then you're gonna know like you're gonna plan on what they're doing. Because like if you get them on a third and long, they're most likely gonna pass. So you could already prepare for that and just be one step ahead. So getting them behind the sticks and just like being able to like trust the D line to make those plays on like the pass plays and stuff. It's really helpful to get them behind the sticks and get them off schedule.
Sorry, Coach, we got you busy with the laptop. I need a question for Marco, so go ahead and slide him back over there.
No worries.
Marco, your kickoff return yards and the ability to be a game breaker on special teams. We know what you can do on offense, that you are an absolute monster, but the ability for you to change the course of a football game on the kick return, whether a punt or via kickoff return. Talk about that and how important that is to a football game, and how important will that be against Sholo on Friday night?
Special teams, it's definitely really important. It will win you games on PATs, field goals, stuff like that, onside kicks, that'll also be really helpful. But usually I haven't been getting the ball kicked to me. It's usually just been a pooch kicker, like an onside kick, stuff like that. So if they kick it to me, I'll put some work in.
Hey, they already know better. I think that's what everybody is surmising right here tonight, Marco. Coach, tell us, we talked with the coach from Sholo as well about this region and how special it is. You guys have to travel a lot. There's a lot that goes into making these programs successful. How special is Northeastern Arizona football, high school football?
Oh, it's incredible, and every year Payson regionally is kind of we're 90 miles from really anywhere. So we get there's been times where we've been pushed to the metro region. We've been in obviously the 3A East for a long time, and there's a lot of tradition in 3A East. And going back to when Snowflake was in, there was a point there where what Coach alluded to. He was on the 06 team, really from the late 90s to probably 2012. The state championship had a 3A East team in it. And it was just a black and blue division, where we just took turns beating each other up every week. So, it was a couple years where the East fell off a little bit. We didn't have the statewide presence, but it's fun to see that it's competitive again. And obviously Round Valley's ahead of the region. They're number 3 in the state right now. You have Sholo at 6. You have us at 9. You have Blue Ridge at 11 or 12, wherever they're at. So it's fun to see the 3A East be. I know it's called the Mountain now, but we all know it's referred to that way. But it's fun to see the Mountain football making a run in the state standings again.
Coach, how gratifying is it to see these young men that are in the room with you, Nolan, Marco, and Johnny, and the rest of your football team? All of these young men continue to grow and just progress and mature as young men under you.
This is a really special group, and we've had a lot of conversations this week. It is senior night, so we had a lot of talks about the last 4 years. And this group, especially these 3, they show up on the football field. They make plays. They're leaders on the football field. But I can't begin to express just how proud of them I am of the maturity they've had over the last 4 years. In the young men they've grown into. So these guys, everyone you see up here are leaders in the classroom. They got high GPAs. They're going to go on to college and have really successful careers, make more money than me or any of our coaches. And they're going to grow up and be great husbands and fathers. So like I said, on a football field, they play hard. They're good leaders. But character-wise, these 3 and I could name all 19 of my seniors that are going to go out and do great things because they're great human beings.
Nolan, I talked about your throwing ability, but I want to talk about your rushing ability a little bit. You have 183 yards on the ground, 5.2 yards a carry. The thing that stands out to me is the 6 touchdowns on the ground that you have. When it comes to your rushing ability, specifically in the red zone, how dangerous and or important can that be getting into the end zone and finishing off those drives?
I think just being able to finish off when we get in the red zone, getting in like just going away with only 3 points and not nearly as good as if we get a touchdown. So, I mean, really just when we get down there, making sure we convert when we get that field position and getting the 7 points, really we're just trying to score as many as possible. So,
Coach, final question for you guys here. Set the scene for me. We've never experienced the Payson high school football game in person. And honestly, we'd like to next fall, maybe for Thursday night football, if you guys would have us. Set the scene for us and let us know what it's like on a Friday night or maybe even a Thursday night next fall.
We are blessed to be in the community that we're in. So, there's a lot of excitement with the Longhorn football right now. And we show on Friday nights. We're loud. Just about every family in town will show up. We'll pack the bleachers as much as they can, and it is an electric atmosphere. It is going from our press box announcer to the kids running on the field and everything. It's an electric atmosphere. So especially you'll see it. Sholo travels real well, so they'll bring quite a few visiting fans, so they'll fill the visiting bleachers up. We'll have the home side bleachers full, and it's gonna be loud and a passionate football game, no doubt. So we'd love to have you guys up.
Coach, what would be the game next season? Payson versus drumroll, please.
Same schedule.
Is it Round Valley?
So Round Valley, we'll have Round Valley at home. We'll have Thatcher at home. We'll have
Thatcher at home.
Yeah, we'll have Thatcher at home. Who else will we have at home next year? Yeah, those would be the two good games. I think we play Santan, Foothills. We play Apache Junction, but and Page. We don't have to go back to Page again. So, but
Coach, thank you so much for your time. We certainly appreciate you guys joining us here tonight. Head coach Brian Burke from the Payson Longhorns, along with quarterback Nolan Keeney, linebacker Johnny McNamee, and Marco Gorecki, wide receiver extraordinaire for Payson. Gentlemen, once again, thank you for your time. Good luck on Friday night. It's going to be an outstanding matchup at your place, and we'll catch up with you again very soon to talk about next season. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Stay with us. When we return, we'll wrap up this edition of the Desert Gridiron Game Plan. Get ready to feel the burn in Phoenix's newest hotspot. Hot Chicken Alley brings the sizzling Nashville-style hot chicken straight to your plate. Our finger-licking sandwiches will set your taste buds on fire. Come join us for a taste of Nashville right here in Phoenix at the corner of Tatum and Thunderbird. Brace yourself for a flavor explosion that'll keep you coming back for more. Hot Chicken Alley, a proud supporter of Thursday Night Football, right here on the Epic Sports Network. Another great night of talking Arizona high school football here on the Desert Gridiron Game Plan. Gentlemen, a great Thursday night game as we make our first trip to Anthem. The Boulder Creek Jaguars will host the defending 5A state champion Centennial Coyotes. Will be on the air at 6:30 p.m. right here on the Epic Sports Network. And the folks at 12 Plus will join us at 7 p.m. for kickoff. And then that other matchup up there on the rim, Payson and Sholo, that's going to be a slugfest.
And Jamal, I was going to use the term slobber knocker.
Yeah.
JP loves to use that term. I was waiting for him to say it, but since he didn't say it, I was going to take the liberty to say it, that both of these games should be slobber knockers. But 3A Mountain football, man, that is so strong up there, JG.
Yeah, it's fun. And it was absolute blast getting to talk to those guys. And I think the thing I'm most looking for is those two teams work hard, and they take pride in working harder than everybody in football. And so to see two teams that have that sort of mindset go to battle this weekend is going to be fantastic.
It's going to be fun. Thank you again for tuning in, everyone, here tonight on the Desert Gridiron Game Plan. And special thanks to our guests as well for joining us here tonight. Make sure you join us Thursday night football. Once again, our final regular season game of the year. And then those 5A brackets will come out on Saturday morning, and we will determine over the weekend our broadcast for next Friday, November the 7th. Will be a first-round playoff matchup. more than likely in the 5A, but hey, the 3A and the 4A are in contention as well. So we'll just go down the list and pick a really good game, get a hold of the coaches and ADs, and go from there, as we always do. But thanks again for joining us here tonight. Another great edition of the Desert Gridiron Game Plan. We'll see you Thursday night over in Anthem. Make sure you join us on the Epic Sports Network